I lost it. Quickly check what we're doing. Pen should be ready to start. Thank you for the follow, Afro Cookie. I'm just about to start now, so nothing much yet, but plan now is just to get through as many genji vods as possible, because I keep getting questions from genji players, and if there's anyone that is sitting on vods that haven't submitted them, please do now, so I can get through them. Okay. Hi everyone. I think it's just me and you right now. Well, 3 viewers it says. It's improving. Let's go. So, current VOD is... You don't know. Okay, that's fine. We'll see how much we get to do. Let me find this. Just let me respond to this guy first. So let me do this. Nope, that doesn't work because Epic Pen is open. Odd. That. Genji vods different ranks. That should that. There we go.
Fight top right, so we have Genji and fucking Mei. So it has to be boost.
Okay.
No, top right, let's have to do it. Does Genji have your deflect ready, fool?
Yep. Genji.
Go. Oh!
Genji one.
Genji one.
Immediately, this shouldn't take this long to chase this target. Just a lot of Discord messages. Let me clear that. Okay. Yeah. Initial target here. If we go to this point, He's completely blocked now, so I would dash immediately to put damage on him.
Genji.
Don't go. Oh!
Genji.
Instead, you miss your dash, you're now stuck without the dash. And we're
Genji
chasing a Genji.
Genji one. Yep.
And the entire team just sort of falls apart. So just confirm the kill quickly, so just to make sure that your team doesn't
Mine.
split
Kill
too
rank.
much.
Charged. Mine one.
Rank on it. Shut up.
One, that's a good one. I'd say the second dash
Mine. Kill
is...
rank. Charged. Mine one.
Rank on it.
In cases like this, you should consider dashing in 180 back out. Another option would be to dash straight for the half back. But I think definitely the best one, just go back out.
Shut up.
If you want.
No bubble. No bubble.
If you want.
You shut up. You shut up.
Let's
Okay,
go
yeah.
right.
I just
Yeah. You taking this duel is, in my head, way too risky.
Oh god. Somebody else.
Because I'm not sure how much is Ghost Dash worth practice in situations like this. Like, it's a technique that's usable and it provides some value. How much value does it give you? At this level, probably not a lot. At higher levels where people have react faster and are more decisive in what they do, probably. Though I've not practiced it myself, I don't know how to Ghost Dash, but it seems to be a really high APM technique where you just input a lot of things and you need to be really fast at doing it. So I'm not sure how much time you spend to practice this in regards to how much you get to it. I think it would be better spent practicing that time on just pure aim. There's probably more value.
Oh god. Somebody else touched me.
But yeah, 1v1 versus McCree is not something you want to do up close.
Oh my bad.
Unless you can hit the dash combo.
Genji. Nice. Mine.
So, is this you I'm watching, or is this someone else? I don't know if who's who. Either way, one thing I do notice is the 180s after the dash is slow. Yeah, the vods will be saved on my Twitch, so you can find them there, and I will also post a link to it in my Discord under the archive channel. Yeah, immediate, like, the 180 straight after a dash is, in my head, a bit slow. It needs to react. It needs to be a muscle memory movement where you dash and just instantly 180 to prepare the right click melee combo. Because if we go back just slightly,
Genji.
dash, the 180 misses and he has to correct it.
Nice. Mine. One
Run dead.
Zen last.
This deflect, I think, is purely panic.
Mine one.
Run dead.
Zen last.
Point off.
Again, 180 is slow,
Oh my god, are you
Oh, Zen
serious?
fucking raped you.
and this end rapes
I
you.
know, it's stupid.
More. Shut up, boy.
I understand.
Wanna shield it?
I have blade.
Thank you.
Sorry, you wanna grab combo? Careful.
I'm dead. Yeah. I got fucking beyond CC right there. Fucking Panda Hammer.
So just a side note, this is not in regards to this Genji play, but you really don't want to combo Grav and Blade. We have May ult. I would rather combo Grav May ult and then Blade the next fight.
Yo, I'm gonna grab. Here I come,
Alright,
boys.
alright, I can blade.
So let me go back and see if I can pause
Yo, I'm gonna grab.
there. So they do have a Sen. So whenever you're even thinking about trans or blading, you need to check what spots do they have. Do they have something to stop you? Every dangerous element needs to be run through quickly to see what can happen. So the things that can happen, trams can happen. Mora just used her ult, so that's not a huge issue. Flashbang, shatter, hook. All of these are things you need to consider when you're going to blade.
Here I come,
Alright,
boys.
alright, I can blade.
Okay, right now.
No!
So you do get one kill through the trans, but again, there's the problem of using Grav and blade in the same fight.
Oh, he's one. Fuck it. He's one.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
one,
no,
he's
no
one.
health pack. God damn it.
So again, actually look towards the health pack to check if it's there before you just try to blindly see. And as soon as you realize that, you need to have like a decisive moment where you change course of action by either going elsewhere, trying to escape somewhere else.
Moira and I are coming back.
Genji one's one. Watch out behind you. Watch
Fill
out
up our
behind you.
Rhine.
Another one, nice.
Good picks, guys.
Thank you.
Shut up, shut up.
Very well.
Genji dead.
I understand.
40 to ult.
You need a healer.
Watch out up top.
Yeah, Zen's up top. I'm waiting for him.
I'm doing top right. Hold him out.
Rhine 1. Rhine's 1, Rhine 1.
Hold him out.
Is secondary fire dash melee or dash secondary fire melee? Secondary fire melee better. The optimal combo is you left click first to get initial damage, because the dash right click melee, I don't think that kills 200 targets. I think they're left with like just like a tiny bit of health. Like left click to just get like 1 or 2 shurikens on them, and then dash right click melee. Because those are animation cancels. Especially the right click into melee is an animation cancel. So you can do that one with no delay. So every time you melee, you always want to right click, no matter what. As long as you
Line
have
one,
sure
line one,
ammo,
line
of
one.
course, but...
Nice, good grab, good grab.
Good job, fellas. Good job.
Bruh, 2 grabs.
Let's keep going. As I said, I'm gonna blitz through this because doing Genji vods for me isn't necessarily the most fun, because one, it's individual perspective. I prefer teams and macro level vods, and Genji as well is not, one, it's not really meta right now, and two, I don't play a lot of Genji. I know a lot of bots Genji, but I don't play myself.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, that's fine.
Straight down, maybe go.
I'll probably do that one then. Maybe after 2 vods now. We'll see. We'll see how quick the second vod is after this.
Oh, fuck, I'm one. Oh,
I
what the fuck?
can jump there on him.
Oh,
I
what the fuck?
can jump there on him.
I don't know if that's him calling he's gonna jump the Ana or that's the Reinhardt, but it's the Reinhardt icon lit up. But yeah, definitely call out your jumping the spots.
Push up.
Oh, I'm sleeping.
Again, the the dash combo misses.
Push up, push up, push up.
Oh, I'm sleeping.
This time it's the dash that
Dude,
misses.
This fan is so annoying.
I'm probably gonna hit a fucking hammer.
And so if we also go back, like, just before engages,
I can jump.
there's this whole decisiveness about when to engage and waiting a bit too long for the enemies to reposition. And so when you're trying to do the dash combo here, then it's suddenly way more difficult.
Push up, push up, push up.
Oh, I'm sleeping. Dude,
Wait back out.
this fan is so annoying.
I'm probably gonna hit a fucking hammer.
It's okay, it's okay.
Go back, turn back out. We're good.
置いておるありがとうよ
Yo, I'm just stalled.
Hog, Roman. He's healed. I ran.
You're trying to engage with one down, never good.
I busted 4 fucking ults right there, dude. Seriously thinking about going fucking dropping Ryan just going fucking hammer for the shit.
I'm gonna go close my window. There's some noise.
Nah, do it
There's
as
a
you
trap.
For it to matter.
Okay.
Yo, kill
We
Reinhardt
back.
is going.
Yeah, can we go right?
Go right? Fuck.
Watch out, you got
I have blade here, but
behind you.
I have blade, but I'm waiting for Send to pop ult.
You don't call that you're just waiting for him to pop ult. You need to call that for your team to engage on the sand to force him to use it or die, basically. So if you get your team to push the sand, he either trams to save himself and have a chance at winning the fight, or he dies and you blade and you win the fight.
Zen dead.
So right now it's blade time, except that you already won the fight, so not blade time.
Push point.
Good job.
But the same applies that you don't call that, you're just waiting for the sun. You need to actually get people to go for the sun.
But Zen.
Running back right now. Shield.
I'm gonna go for the Zen.
Good call.
Right there. That's easy to fool.
I don't got bubble.
Zen dead.
You do need to work on your combos, your aim,
I'm getting again.
and just general engagement. Just having duels, you struggle sometimes.
Hog dead.
Like your general aim and tracking of enemies is fine. It's just some of these combos you need to work on.
Back with sound barrier.
I am got ult here.
Going fucking hammer for the shit, dude. Fuck.
They have Zen ult, so
Okay, I got ult. I got ult.
don't.
One thing you can do to practice that is just go into play Genji in free for all or 1v1 duels. Play custom games against random bots and just practice killing the one-shot combos.
They have Zen ult, so you can just grab them.
Not exactly one-shot,
Have
but
them use it,
get
and then
worried.
wait after.
Just be careful, they're renting us.
Hold on, keep your nade for when I grab. Tell me when you have nades at.
Don't one once. It's sort of the same in when he's playing this playstyle. Is that he's sort of looking for targets to go for in the backline, and it's close to a 1v1. And if he's able to learn the proper combos, get good enough that he's actually able to one-hit combo someone, he gets the dash resets to escape as well. But I get what you mean. It's if you look back a bit, like earlier guides of how to play Genji, everyone just always said never dash in. because you can't escape. Now it's more of you can dash in if you can secure a kill, so you can dash out.
Okay, do you have nades? Do you have nades?
No, she just used it.
Again, you're looking to drop into the backline and you're exposing yourself. They know where you are and the spots will reposition.
Nade it.
Oh, fuck, he's one. Oh, but you was fucking one. God damn it.
Every time you plant to blade, you know that you're going to play this already. Call for your supports to keep an eye on you, and say if you had nano here. Do you have nano here? You don't ever check tab. That's something you should do, is hold tab way more often. In between our fights, downtime. Hold tab. See what ults you have.
Oh, but you was fucking one. God damn it.
Also, is there a reason why you dash straight up here? The reason why you usually dash up, there's two reasons why you dash up into there. One is because you're doing it from somewhere where you don't have clear view of the enemies, so you're not able to sort of plan your dash chains. You just like the route you're planning to kill targets. This first. Maybe see what target wants to focus. Yeah, I guess, but he's already up on high above them by the pillar, so I wouldn't say it's necessary. He already has the info he needs. The second reason you want to dash up is to get nano. Because it's just easier to get nano when you're up in there. This dash straight up, like you're forced to look directly straight up. And it gives you less info than if you were to just drop down on them. Exactly, you could deal more damage with the dash. You get another 50 damage. It's all about being the most effective you can in every situation. Like this dash straight up seems like just habit because he usually dashes up in all blades.
That was so fucking stupid. Line one. No, deflect.
Otherwise, in general, the blade.
Oh, fuck, he's one. Oh, but you was fucking one. God damn it.
Yeah, like
Oh, fuck, he's one. Oh,
he knows who everyone is now, basically.
but you was fucking one. God
He
damn it.
dashes up, he loses sight of the enemies for about half a second. And now there's no targets where he wants to kill them.
That was so fucking stupid. Line one. No, deflect. I didn't have deflect. I got one. That's not good enough.
The reason why it was unlucky is because he broke line of sight to the enemies and assumed they would stand still or assumed where they would move. And instead they didn't, and he suddenly didn't have any targets.
At least two.
Nice.
So the primary reason in my head you dash up for a blade is to get info. So if you actually have to sacrifice info in order to be able to dash up, then it's not worth it. That's more of what I was looking on earlier, to dash in, secure a kill, dash out. And also the possible cases where you could confirm what's it called? Where you could use the ghost dash tech. So, Afro Cookie, are you Cypher on Discord?
I know what.
In this case, it would have been fine to just focus the other targets. In this fight? Okay, that's you. Okay, just making sure. So, in my head, that is the fact that he's allowed to walk through here is amazing. But, again, flat. And he dashes towards the McCree, which is not...
I know one left.
But otherwise, I think the target priority isn't wrong.
Dude, wait. Oh my fucking god.
Again, we'll see struggles with the dash combo.
Dude, wait. Oh my fucking god, Jesus.
Junk. Dead.
GG, boys.
Good
Legit.
job.
Yeah, I agree. That's so just a summary for this one. Dash combos needs to be worked on. Be more aware of in and out dashing when you're trying to pick up a kill. Sometimes you're going for jewels that you shouldn't, just straight up trying to jewel a McCree, bad idea. More active on comms, call out your flanks, and be more decisive on when you're going on single targets. Maybe I'm not gonna look too much at that. If I've seen Genjis play with super low sense. It's all a matter of practicing and having the muscle memory to do it consistently. Looks unable to be honest. Probably not unable to. Probably more that he's not actually practiced doing 180s. Not sure. Difficult to say without actually talking with them. I'm not a big fan of changing sense because you're not able to do something. I prefer a lot more to sit down and practice what you're not good at, and then after a while you still aren't able to execute it, then you maybe look at how to change. Maybe set up your style of aiming, maybe changing sense. I guess. I recall when you... Yeah, sure. We have one more we'll go through quickly, and then we'll do yours. Let me find the second one. Chamber sense too much. Oh, window used to be open, I was just touching. So, how long ago did you change your sense, and have you been doing aim exercises since? Like, changing sense will mess up. If you've used one sense for a while and gotten used to it, and then changing it drastically, it requires time to build up new to first break down old muscle memory and build new one. And it all comes down to aim exercises, playing a lot with that new sense, and yeah, I would say aim exercises is the best one to do it. And having a consistent sense, like playing with the same sensitivity across all games you play. That's like one of the most annoying thing for me, is because most games use a different sensitivity system, so it's really difficult. Have an aim exercise. Yeah, okay, so I'll show you a couple of ones you can do. It could be like the simplest one is basically just walking into practice range and just shooting bots for like 15-20 minutes. But there's a lot of better ones you can do. Okay, so current VOD we're watching now is a... Yeah, we'll do this one and then we'll get to yours afterwards, and we'll look at that. So this is a bronze Genji.
My spirit grows strong.
Yeah, media about 6,000 to 8,000. Yeah, generally. You see some going lower now, and I mean higher. One way of thinking. And it's mostly... I was just about to tag you, Chatty. Generally ED about 6,000 to 8,000. Yeah, that's roughly where they are. projectiles, main tanks, main supports usually tend towards the higher end of that or higher. But some hit scans might be lower. Depends on what you play a lot. If they're playing McCree, Widow, those you generally see low, but if you do, you see them playing Sombra, Tracer, they might have a high sense again. So this game compared to, if you look at CSGO players, for example, they have usually quite low sense. Because you need really precise accuracy at long range. Use low to be able to flex in this kind. Yeah, that's another option as well. Quite a lot of people come from other games as well and think the lower you have, the better. But I see more and more pro players going higher and higher in sense to be able to have quicker reactions to stuff and faster flicks. We're talking just like turning 180s. That's usually it's not something you will need in a game like CSGO and other FPS. Okay, let's get through this. This is now a bronze Genji. So we'll look at some slightly different stuff maybe. And we're also on console, I notice. First is you should not be here as exposed at this when you're playing versus Hanzo, for one. There's also Widowmaker. You have tanks, play behind them. If the others going in, you could perhaps start poking. Okay, this is gonna be... I don't know how well certain techs, like dash combos, animation cancels, how well they translate to console. So we're just gonna have to watch, and I'll comment a bit of your just general game sense decisions and pure mechanic stuff. It's console, I have no idea.
I will not waste this chance.
Don't think you can do the combos on console. I don't know. That's the problem. I've heard people say there's like a 180 button that tells you 180. But it's only on console. Or might have been a different game though, I don't know. Fight's lost, you don't want to be here now. You should be setting up for the next events instead.
Let us hope for a different outcome.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Okay, you're playing with one... No, wait, what? We're playing quick play? One quick play, okay. That's why it's 6 minutes on clock. Again, you're sort of standing in front of the enemy team with no real cover, no tanks. And everyone's just free to shoot straight at you. Try to get either on a flank, behind them, above them. You could stand on the castle and just sort of jump and shoot down at them. I don't think I've seen you use your dash once so far. Okay, so let's just do a blade change. We talked a little bit about this on the last VOD, but we'll do some more. Generally, when you blade, you usually see blades, they dash up into the air. Not straight up, but sort of on an angle towards the enemy team. The reason they do this is to get an overview of the enemies, so you can sort of map where they all are and decide which one you want to kill first, and then next. So you can sort of chain slash dash, and just keep going. So that's one. Try to dash up, and I'm not sure how much we actually will end up watching of this, because I think I can already summarize pretty clearly what you need to practice. Not emoting in the middle of the game, that's one. Again, if we just, it's at this level, you should start just practice looking for opportunities to use your dash to get value. And as soon as you can hear stuff on your left, just to check what it is, and this is a double dash. And it's also the dash leads you not into the enemy team, and it's in safety. The deflect towards the handhold is, if intended, a good effort. Oh, okay. Having issues, I see. Okay. I think we might stop here. What I recommend you doing is go into the practice range and practice tracking enemies, because your movement, your aim is really how to do it, non-fluent. You're sort of changing your position of the crosshair, and you move with your movement to aim sometimes. What you should practice doing is have constant movement on your crosshair to track targets as they move. So let me actually get the game up and I'll show you what I mean. What I recommend you doing to just practice, even like establishing a foundation for aim, basically. Because right now you're just like sort of doing this and you're sort of aiming by moving. So what I recommend you doing is go over towards this part of the training range and stand, for example, here, and just track one target as they move. And doing this will sort of allow you to get used to how things move in the game and how much you have to use your joysticks. Because I think the biggest issue you are having is actually hitting stuff. And once you start doing that, you go for doing combos 180 right click melee. I don't play Genji, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Ceres is probably dying of laugh right now, but that's fine. So just practice your basic tracking of targets, and this applies to basically all enemies, all heroes you play. This should be the very foundation of when you're playing something. Good, you didn't catch it. That's good. So, yeah. I recommend that for a starter. And I think, well, we're just gonna cut that VOD right there, because one console I'm not able to coach you much on the mechanics there. I suggest you find someone that actually plays console to help you with more specifics. And as for game sense and decision making, that far down on console is a completely different game to what I'm used to. So it's difficult for me to say. I can say some very general stuff, but I recommend finding someone that plays console to help you. We're gonna move on to the next VOD, which is not this one. We're now back in Scrim territory. Instead I can't play with license. I've legit no clue how that works with console. I'm not even gonna claim. You can't play with license, and everyone says Genji needs license. Yeah, so I would not care too much. I'll join you soon after. I just want to finish up this. I would not care too much about what everyone says in regards to sense. I would find something that is... If you're able to do this, tracking targets comfortably, and sort of switch between targets without having too much off time. If you're able to do that, then it's good enough. And you can sort of refine more when you start climbing, and it becomes more difficult. But for now, you should start practicing being able to switch targets like this quickly and tracking moving targets. 800 DPS 3 cents, yeah, but that's computer. On console, who knows? Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Let's see. How to do this the best.
Okay, like first off, like this is a WOD from our like 2.8k team, and we're like really new, so we haven't really experienced so far. Which like the team was founded like a month ago, and we haven't had a lot of practice, so it's maybe we have some problems because of this.
So let me quickly. I've sent you a screen share.
Oh yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
You should be able to see in real time with me, so you don't have to add the stream delay.
Okay.
And let's just okay. I think everything's fine. You're not going to be able to see anything if I draw stuff, which is the only bad thing about this, but I'll try to explain instead.
Okay. I also know like where it's like blue box and so on, so you can use these if you want to explain something.
So the team has been together for about a month.
Yeah, and I've been like on vacation, so I haven't been in like a part of the team for a lot of time. And I've been flex support before this. That's kind of why I want the coaching, because like I'm new to flex DPS.
Okay. Let's find the start of the match. Hopefully here. Yeah.
Okay. Attackers incoming.
It's only Diva. Alright,
okay.
You can just keep this for now. Just keep the catwalk.
So...
I don't know where they're positioned.
Blue box.
Okay, just keep pushing payloads.
This is fine for now, just sort of... The start of Gibraltar is always a weird one, because everyone starts in this room. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can use that to point.
Can you use mine, or...?
No. I don't
see. There.
Yeah, but if I draw with the epic band, you're not going to see it. But as long as you see my cursor, that's fine. So everyone fights for this room to begin with, but no one really wants it.
Yeah, makes sense.
You want to... If you want to use the room, you don't want to be there to begin with, because there's always going to be people there in the start of the match. But as soon as the attacker team start contesting it, the defenders will just immediately fall back. Because you can't really defend that room, but you also can't just give it for free. So you always start there to force some resources.
Okay.
So otherwise, you should at this point start getting into positions for your tanks. You see your Winston just jumped, which means that you have somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds for the next dive, depending on how quick your team is.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the problem is that we
Stage right, yeah.
like can't properly dive yet.
Heaven.
We are quite good at goats, but like dive is not our strength.
One
So one is that Winston should always be the one calling out where he's jumping and when he's jumping. And you should mostly just be following your Winston. That's
Mhm.
monkey.
most of it.
Alright, we go to blue box, go to blue box.
Okay, so they call us been to play for blue box.
Guys, I can't heal.
Be really careful about that.
Alright.
The dangerous part about this is that there's not an Anna on the enemy team. If there was an Anna on the enemy team, she will probably hit a nade on you even if you're deflecting. And Winston will not care about you deflecting, so put a discord on top of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Any poking up there is dangerous, so just be aware of it.
Yeah. I just tried to like the Widow was like behind them, and I hope that the Widow will shoot into my deflect and I'll get like extra damage on the Diva or whatever.
Yeah. So just... Do you miss your timing then? Why do you die? You go up.
Guys,
Oh,
I
you
can't
go up. Deflect.
Monkey's one.
I can't heal all of you at once.
Okay, you peek after you use the reflect. So as long as you don't have a shield, deflect, or defense matrix, you don't peek that Widow at all.
Yeah.
Alright. Contest blue box.
Blue's hitting behind. Behind you.
One diva.
So at this point, they've already given you blue box, sort of. They've already repositioned towards the catwalk. So
Yeah.
they have the diva there, but that's on like a token effort at contesting the blue box. Just to not give it away for free. So instead, you should start setting up for a dive towards catwalk.
Yeah, the problem is we don't have a mech right now, and we kind of struggle with diving.
Yeah, but you should always plan for in case you want to dive.
Yeah.
Especially you as a DPS. This goes more for Tracers, but it's important for Genjis as well. You want to be prepared for dives.
Yeah.
That means you should have your movement abilities ready. And try not to use any cooldowns before you have to. That means don't poke the enemy team. You can try to build blade, of course, but don't use abilities unless you have to.
Okay, yeah.
And
That was kind of my problem in this game. Like on Genji, I wasn't really like coordinating with Winston and Diva.
Yeah.
And
So in this case, the Winston's on top. He could probably go blue box and jump the catwalk. One position you can play to be able to help with that is you play inside this room. That's safe. They don't know where you are. You can go underneath, go up the stairs, stand behind the wall. You don't. The problem now is that you already have Discord, so you will probably be forced to either fall back or deflect.
yeah.
So by staying inside, they don't know where you are, they don't know you're coming, and you're able to save your cooldowns. So as soon as the jump goes in, you can sort of just run out and dash.
Okay, makes sense. Do you think it's like worth like trying to get the blue box first because
Like, there's no one playing blue box now.
yeah, I mean the Diva will probably have to go away then, right?
Yeah, so blue box it's a position you try to fight for because it holds strategic value, sort of. If they can have the tanks on blue box, it's easier for them to drop down and contest point. But they don't need blue box, and you also don't need blue box to dive anything else.
Yeah, the problem is like the targets on catwalk are out of my dash range.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Which is why you should always be, as I said, be prepared for a dive at any time.
Yeah, exactly.
So your pathing towards the enemies needs to be somewhere else.
Okay, yeah.
So as a suggestion, go underneath, go through the halls, the stairs, and stand inside and wait. Then you can
Excellent.
at least dive the catwalk above the point, and I think you should be able to dive the far one as well, around the corner.
Have you got boosters first?
Sleeping. Monkey sleeping.
Okay. We can test monkey on payload.
Okay, they actually tried to defend the blue box.
I need healing
Tell me when you got
behind
back.
you.
So, yeah, like, the thing about this is that
He's one.
as long as Diva exists on blue box, your Widowmaker is sort of limited in positions she can take. By the fact that the Diva exists on the blue box. She can go for your Widow, but she doesn't need to. Just by being there, the Widow has to play safely.
Yeah.
So, what would happen if you guys were able to jump? Say you and Winston go from underneath out this door and jump the catwalk. What would the Diva do? The enemy
The
Diva.
diva, like the enemy diva, yeah, she would have to drop down.
Yeah, either drop down or fly backwards to help the backline because of you.
Yeah.
That then opens for your Widow to either play on top of blue box or have more space on the island.
Yeah, makes sense.
So there's a lot of moving parts to playing dive and understanding how people react to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your Diva should probably just track the enemy Diva and see where she goes. If the enemy Diva goes back towards her own backline, your Diva can also follow the dive.
She's out of mech though at the moment. Like she's been out of mech for a long time.
I think that's in mech.
No. She's our diva is Dr. Fist,
Wait.
like the one.
Oh, there I'm looking at the wrong team. Yeah, that one's out of
He's
mech.
half.
Monkey's one.
He's one on payload.
I need healing
Tell me when you got
behind
back.
you.
I'm on monkey behind. Monkey behind.
Yeah, and here I charge the blade, and as soon as I see that my team died, I just like kind of go in and die.
He got me.
Genji on me.
-2, -2.
Okay, so you're just playing back there. Yeah, that's fine.
Genji on.
-1.
I have played.
Okay, just reset.
I almost got nano.
So again, as I mentioned earlier,
Diva lets me get some.
I think
Is that
I
the real
have
point?
the,
Yeah, hello, Colin.
Widow.
as soon as you have played, the initial call always, what do they have to stop it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't have mech, that's all.
I have trends.
Yeah, this. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it right now, but
So I can actually heal.
I'm gonna
Okay,
try
we
it.
dive Mid on Mercy, top left.
I got trends.
Right, let's walk up to payload.
I have nano.
We can test mid row in 2.
So who's the one that making these calls?
it's the IGL is Rupert, but calling usually is Nunchi.
Okay, because
But Nunchi's having mic issues at the moment, so like in this scrim, so
yeah, I just want to say that in my head, a shot caller isn't necessarily one that makes all the plans. It's the one that decides which of the plans you execute.
yeah.
So, since you have Blade, you should be the one that comes with the plan of how to execute the Blade. Because you are the Genji player, you know best how to for the Blade to be successful.
Yeah.
And thus you should be the one that comes forth with the plan, and he should be sort of just like confirming that, okay, we do this.
Yeah.
And that way you know that when you Blade, you know that the Sen needs to either have tranced first, or you need to kill him first.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but in this case, I just like trade the blade for the trance. Because
I would
Initially,
I would do that if your team is confident at diving normally.
Yeah.
But since you said the team is not really good at dive, then
Yeah.
I would use Blade more of sort of like the panic button, things are going sideways, let's Blade to win the fight.
Okay. Yeah.
That's sort of like the idea behind playing the Sombra Genji comp. It's sort of like you EMP Blade, just like, yeah, we're throwing all the ultimates into this fight, let's just win this one.
Mhm.
It's not a good overall mindset, but it works.
Do you think, like, instead of a Widow, we should rather have a Sombra in this case?
Not on this map. You probably kind of need to have a Widow on this map.
Okay.
So, yeah, you have Nano Blade. Even if they do trans, you're still able to get kills.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get Nano though.
Okay. Is it not called for, or is it...
No, I think just that you see like this purple. I think the Anna's just way too far back and didn't
Monkey behind on Widow.
realize that I was gonna Nano Blade.
Okay.
And I said it too late. Probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, the general... I would say the problem here is the general plan going into the fight. Pretty much all I heard of the plans of the fight were, let's dive the Widow and the Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know that we're going to use Blade. I would definitely have nanoed it if you had the option.
Yeah.
Because then even if they trans, you still have one shot on all 200 HP targets.
Yeah, but I used Dash to get there, so even the Nano wouldn't help, right?
Yeah. If you used both dashes, then yeah, you're kind of screwed.
Oh no, I just used one Dash, my bad. You're right.
Yeah, so as long as you get the dash reset from blading, you should be able to kill stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I would say definitely the first thing first would be to dive the sand.
Mm-hmm.
If you kill him, good, you blade. If he trances, okay, you fall back and blade after.
Yeah, makes sense.
And this is the sort of stuff that you are more suited to calling because you have been in those situations more by playing Genji more than your Widowmaker, who's agile.
Yeah. But like our coach like really wants like Rupert, like the Widow, to like practice being IGL. So he like doesn't really want us to like make ideas, so he has to think himself.
Yeah, okay, I see. Well, it's one way to do it. How you guys do it, up to you guys. I've done that sort of system with many teams as well. It's just
I mean,
lately I've been considering more a different structure, but that's up to each team how they do it.
Okay.
So if you guys want to go for that, then you just need to be more in between scrims, like maybe between maps, depending on how strict you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Just remind him that could have been a play.
Yeah.
If you do board reviews, mention it there.
Yeah. I have to say though, like our dive calls are really bad. But as soon as we start playing goats or floats or just like a goat variation, our calls are like quite good and are also like the alt management and everything. So usually we play goats, but like yeah, it's not always that bad.
Oh, he's getting pocketed. Whatever.
I'm gonna go Sombra here.
Okay. Okay. They use trans. They've got Mercy ults, and both tank ults and Genji ult.
Yeah. Just Nano
Yeah,
once.
good talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, like, something I do notice is that the few teams that actually do tackles usually don't actually do anything with information.
Yeah.
There's been called out 4 ultimates and no plan for how to deal with any of them.
Oh, I got it. I got
Nice.
Gen.
Dive Widow. You ready? Oh, no man, you have
This should be an instant reaction to just deny the res. But I don't think your tanks are even closely in position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does the right click?
Oh, I got it.
Well, they are actually in position.
Nice. Dive Widow. You ready?
Oh yeah, but we went for the Widow. Yeah. Or wait, what? No, they shouldn't have been. They shouldn't be able to rest this.
No. Even if the Widow was called earlier, it should have been a change of target and sort of...
Yeah.
Because you've already called out that he has played, which is problem, sort of.
Yeah.
Because even if you do trans, your Sen is nowhere near your team.
Yeah.
Fudging
On me.
killed me.
Yeah, like the damage booster blade will just like wreck us.
I'm on Zen.
Alpha then.
Yeah, like, yeah, damage boost play can go through trans, but the main problem is that your Zen is playing all the way in this area, and your team is way over there.
Yeah.
Zen dead. Two dead.
It's win.
Mac low.
Be equal.
Heal me.
Mac low.
Minus one. Genji's hacked.
Oh, this isn't even the fight where they
You have
blade.
to use your ult.
I can't when I'm dead.
Yeah, but just use your ult. It has no value if you keep it this long.
Yeah, I'll use it now when there's no one here.
Genji hacked.
I'll tell you when to nano me.
Get Mercy. Mercy's alone.
I'm going up top. Okay, I'm above you.
Vincent behind.
No, keep it.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I almost have blade again.
Minus two.
Okay.
Reset.
Call for nano blade at least.
Because I'm
Yeah.
I'm having to do it.
The general idea for how you... I think the problem is your team doesn't know how to play dive, basically.
Yeah, not at all.
So, did any of the players play in a team back during the dive meta? It's been over half a year since, but... Because you can clearly... If a team has played during the dive meta, you know it's by the fact that they actually know how to dive stuff properly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that goes into a dive. But mostly it's about communicating, being prepared and ready, and trusting the call that's been made.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
but apart from that, like your general shot calling in regards to dive, like the combos you want to use, the ultimates you're using, the way you approach targets, it's sort of lacking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
Way too often I see you try to just like go from main and jump up. Well, you could go through the stairways and be hidden for a longer time and avoid discords for a while and just... Yeah, generally surprise element is way stronger than you think.
Do you think in this case we should like just swap the goats?
Nah, not necessarily. Like,
Or like Winston goats, if you want to.
if we're looking at this as a pure performance match where you're just trying to win no matter what, I would probably sort of, go like floats or something like that. But if this is a scrim to practice stuff, then I would definitely just force the same, just dive goats. I would just dive comp to practice it, because you actually need
Yeah, we haven't looked at dive though so far, so
yeah,
it's not really.
I think I'm lagging or something. I'm getting like hyping. I think my brother's downloading.
I don't really.
One, your Sombra is doing something. Sombra should always be invisible behind the team, call out positions, and be ready for the dive to happen.
Yeah.
Know what to do.
Okay, I've played.
And you should just be sort of with your Winston, and as he jumps targets, you should be there with him.
Yeah, it's really bad staging and everything.
I'll go with you, Zypher.
I'll just nano you and
They have
then
trunk. Okay.
I'm under.
I'm on Mercy. Nice.
Coming.
I'm on Monkey.
Widow's one.
Did you mess up the dashes?
I'm on
I
Zen.
don't really see what's going on over there. It happens, but
Actually, I don't remember, but I think that's the case.
yeah,
Yeah, and here comes the other blade, like.
Use ults.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's fine.
It's sort of like again, we've called that they have played, but we don't really do anything about it. As soon as we pop Nano Blade to go for them, I'd highly recommend your Winston to just like instantly swap to the Genji, because they will be so focused on you and trying to keep some people alive that the Genji usually is free in that amount of time.
Yeah.
If we go back to see if we can spot it.
I think the problem was that I went for the Mercy, and after the Mercy, there weren't any targets nearby for me, I believe. Oh, Genji, yeah. And Widow, yeah.
Yeah. So since we know he has played, it's one of the win conditions is to not let him use it. Which means that he's one of your.
Oh, I saw the dash. I saw the dash.
Come on, monkey.
I dashed to the. I believe it's Diva or Winston.
Okay. Anyway, you could have gone back to Catwalk and got the Sen or Widow or something, but
yeah,
mechanical mistakes. A lot of those. The biggest issues here is the fact that your team can't dive. But yeah, like since you know Genji has played, you know they have trans. Sen should have been the dive target by your tanks before you bladed, but aside from that, the Genji should also be one of your high priority targets.
Yeah.
Because if you can kill the Genji with your blade, he can blade. Apart from that, Mercy is important because of res, and Widow can't really impact the fight as soon as you have gotten 2 or 3 picks. Unless she's insane and kills everyone, but as long as people play disciplined and are not just like walk into sightlines, it shouldn't be a problem.
Widow's
Okay,
one.
yeah.
I'm on Zen.
So let's.
Yeah, it doesn't work out for us.
Yeah, it's just stalling as always.
Yeah, then on defense, we play floats, I believe, and I'm on break.
Yes, they don't, and then we drop.
Okay, so not Genji anymore. Let's just look quickly at how you set it up, and I'll talk a bit about it.
Yeah, bash him.
Bash his head in.
Yeah, like we're pretty.
Okay.
Let's say we're pretty good at floats. At least better than dive.
So where does your Sand play mostly?
Where does our Sen play? I don't know actually.
Yeah,
Because
that's one of the few things that should be decided in like when you're having strat talks and just like planning out the maps.
yeah, the problem was that I was on vacation and I used to be the Sen before.
Okay. Yeah. So just because you need to be aware of where he is, because he's one of the most valiant on your team that needs to stay alive.
But I tried to like stand close to like the door there in order to stun
Bash it.
like the diva.
Nice.
Yeah.
Genji,
Just
back.
in-
Nice.
There's some cheesy strats that you should be careful
Winston,
about
Winston,
when doing that.
Back up now, back up now.
Okay.
Widow, right side.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
come back. We stage. Just stage in here. Stage
I'm,
inside.
I'm
Stage. We can stage inside here. We can stage inside here. Zypher, don't peek. Just hold like really close.
no,
to
I'm
the
not peeking.
Like sort of this setup where you sort of say where you want to stage from. That's the sort of stuff you actually need in dive.
Yeah. Problem is, we know how to stage in goats, like theoretically. We
Yeah, but
still really can't like actually do it, but
it's sort of the same in dive, except you have more mobility.
yeah, and I think that makes it really hard.
Peeking. I'm just like.
Yeah, do it. Can you
watching.
hold really close to the wall, just like so they can't see you? Okay, rotate round. Speed us onto car. Now.
Go.
Okay. Go. Ryan.
So as soon as you drop, you should always pay attention to where the sun is.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan's one.
He's like one of the highest DPS outputs on your team right now.
Dead.
Yeah.
I can heal you.
Careful, Genji.
Apart from that,
Diva,
yeah,
Diva.
save armor packs a bit. Try to
I
get
think my
value
game
of
crashed.
those, and that's about it.
No, it just froze. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was a lot.
Always stay on cart.
Night and try to make your dives a lot shorter. You're going too high in the air. And yeah, just don't go too deep. Like you don't need to.
I think we'll just like that's sort of the basics. I'm not gonna look at this.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Was
And then
supposed to
thanks,
be
like-
supposed to be a Genji one.
Yeah, it's on the Genji, right?
So you wanted some aim exercises.
Oh yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
some for Genji maybe, but like mostly just for like anything.
Stop showing that. Let me share this. Yeah. How to best do this? Actually, yeah. Give me a battle tag.
Oh, my battle tag. Is Wait. It's Cypher, hashtag. Cypher like with a capital X, and hashtag 21553.
21553.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me when you're online and we'll set up a show you it. This is something you can do it solo. It just takes some time to set up because you need to. Do you have 2 accounts?
I'm gonna get another account like tomorrow, I believe, just to like practice some
Yeah.
CPS.
The main reason is because you.
Because when I play comp, I usually have to play main tank because it's my like role I have most experience with and I'm the best at.
So, if you have 2 accounts, you can launch the game from your C folder on your computer and have 2 versions of Overwatch running at the same time. The reason why that's good is because you can have sort of a stationary bot in any hero you want.
Oh yeah?
So, what you should do, if you just meet me at first point, what you do is you find someone that's slightly elevated. For example, this here is something I've used a lot.
Yeah.
And you place your other bot, or like quote-unquote bot, like just down on the ground there. And what you practice, this is like purely practicing the 180 combo.
Oh yeah?
You dash behind them, turn, right click, and melee.
Okay.
And you sort of do that over and over, and you fiddle with the settings, give them infinite health, or like not infinite health,
Yeah.
but more health.
Oh yeah,
and you practice doing this as quickly as possible, so you get the clean 180 flick.
Oh yeah. And do you think it's better to like practice at which range you have to dash to get the dash combo without having to dash into the ground?
So
You know, like this was too far now, you know?
I prefer always jumping and dashing into the ground.
Okay.
That's in my head more.
Oh no, this was too far as well.
Yeah, it's more usable in all situations. If you have a send that's really close to you, you
Yeah.
need to be able to execute the combo without having to back off and then dash.
Yeah.
So the dash into the ground behind them is more usable in most situations. So practice that. Another thing you should do is, if I do this and just add some, let's see. Lose your bots is really good for practicing.
Come on, let's bring it together.
So you just practice doing it on moving targets. And
Yeah.
the bots have fairly random movement, so it's not easy to execute.
I'm under attack. Let's get patched up.
Oh shit, I messed up.
Yeah. So this is sort of the one you go to after you've already sort of mastered the initial combo technique. So have like a couple of bots. Start with slow speed.
Yeah.
Put their speed down to like 25%, so they move slowly. And then just like increase it up to 100% once you get more consistent with it.
Yeah. The boops are also like really annoying.
Yeah, you can turn them off. It doesn't
Okay.
really matter. The only thing is that you should practice it on static targets first, and then increasingly higher movement speed on targets.
Okay. I was practicing on like the bots in the practice range, but it's really easy.
Yeah, they're way too easy. The hitbox is way too big.
Okay.
You need to practice on actual hitboxes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the head on the by the training bots is massive.
Yeah.
And
I can
also
do like
the movement is way too predictable as well.
Yeah, I can usually like do the combo with the like you don't even have to dash into the ground and can immediately get like the triple headshot.
Yeah.
Right click and immediately delete them, but it's like impossible against Lucius or whatever.
That's why you practice against actual bots with heroes.
Okay. Yeah.
Do like Lucio, Ana, Sen. Practice killing these bots over and over.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's. Otherwise, yeah, just long range left clicks on Lucy bots as well. Go for headshots. I think that's if you do like these sort of exercises daily, you don't need to do a lot, but it's more important that you do them consistently over time than you do like one day, 5 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
There's more value in doing 15 minutes for a week than doing 3 hours one day.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to build a muscle memory, so you can do this without having to think how much you have to move your mouse.
Yeah, I didn't have that yet.
So if you can do a 180 right-click dash, right-click melee combo without having to think about doing it, then you can execute it in a hectic fight without having to sort of dedicate brain power to actually executing the combo.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's sort of like the autonomous playing that you need. Sort of move everything that's mechanic, you can move to autopilot.
Yeah.
Practice it so you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. Okay, then that's it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's.
Okay, thanks for your help.
Yeah, no problem.
Really appreciate it.
Good luck and good luck with the team.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here as well. This stream was mostly just to get some genji vods out of the system. So have a good one, and we'll see some other day.